Greetings, my good bitches. The name's Francis, Coke Francis. I'm an editor, Twitch streamer, drag artist, and I'm here because I know what you're all thinking. Francis, this is one of your best looks yet. I am simply trembling in awe at its very presence. Where is your video about the Great American State Fair? I totally understand why you would ask. It's yet another addition to the long line of Great American humiliation rituals that I love to cover on this channel. If anything, I would have much rather made a video about that than the UFC Jerkfest. It was mainly just a case of timing given my production schedule, and it's really difficult to keep up when the United States continues to outdo itself with cringy events that are getting increasingly harder to satirize. But more than that, between that fair and the UFC Jerkfest, the conservative gay cruise, the Turning Point halftime show, those Kirktastic Froyo Cups, and Nazi catfights outside of the Young Republicans Gala, you name it, I need a break. And I think you guys do too. Also, it's been a hot minute since I've done a cinema history video. Thanks to the degree on my wall that's just out of frame, there are exactly two things I'm good at: judging other people's politics and judging art forms that I can't necessarily do myself. What do you mean you can't do costumes, Francis? What about this incomprehensibly amazing piece you're wearing right now? Well, I bought this. But as I've said before, I still know when shit looks good or not. And you'll probably agree when you see this nightmare blunt rotation of garments that have ever had the misfortune of being featured on the big screen. Is every single one of my looks an absolute banger like this one? Probably not. But I sleep very well at night knowing I will never turn out looks as bad as these horror shows. Mostly thanks to my brand new mattress with a Glaciotex cooling pillow top, courtesy of today's sponsor, Helix. As the months start to heat up, it's a perfect time to upgrade your sleep space with a cooling mattress. Helix Sleep makes premium mattresses and bedding that are customized to fit your needs, combining innovative technology with high-quality materials to deliver only the comfiest of sleeps. They offer over 20 unique mattresses and mattress toppers to choose from, with different levels of firmness, and supportive hybrid designs for side, stomach, and back sleepers. But Francis, I don't know the first darn thing about mattresses. How am I supposed to know which one to buy? This is where Helix especially comes in clutch. By taking the Helix Sleep Quiz, you will be matched with the perfect mattress based on your body type and sleep preferences. For example, I tend to sleep on my side, and I frequently have back issues from having to carry this entire channel. So, I was matched with the Twilight mattress, which is perfect for side sleepers, and its firm feel and pressure point relief earned a Best for Back Pain Forbes vetted badge. One of my least favorite feelings in the world is waking up in the middle of the night drenched in sweat for absolutely no reason. So, I also got the Glaciotex cooling pillow top, a plush top fabric that feels blissfully cool every time I get into bed. Helix has also just added a new member to the family, the Comfort Adjust Cooling Pillow. Consider flipping your pillow to the cool side, a thing of the past. Just like their mattresses, the Comfort Adjust Cooling Pillow is customizable to support all sleep preferences and positions, and it keeps you cool all night long with Glaciotex heat conductive fabric. Helix delivers your mattress right to your door with free shipping in the US, rolled up in a box, and very easy to set up. They also offer a 120-night sleep trial for you to test your mattress out and ensure you'll enjoy spending a third of your life on it. All Helix mattresses come with a lifetime warranty and offer seamless returns and exchanges. So don't sleep on better sleep. Go to helixsleep.com/QueenCokeFrancis to take advantage of their 4th of July sale, where they're currently offering 20% off site-wide. Just click the link in the description or scan the QR code right next to my very handsome face. And with that, back to our regularly scheduled programming. As it is with my other cinema history videos, I've omitted looks that were intentionally bad or meant to be comedic. I've also left out several examples that are super obvious or on everybody's lists, like Batman and Robin and Batman Forever. We all know about the bat nipples. Thanks for the hot take, Channel Awesome. Got any more poignant 2011 observations? Honestly, I think the Schumacher Batman movies get a pass because they have enough of a camp factor, and hating on them is so 2000 and late. First category is, I can fix her. Maybe. I savor every time I get to bring up this quote by someone who I can't actually believe is a real dude.
Wahlberg, who was in fact scheduled to be on American Airlines Flight 11 the morning of September 11th, said, "If I was on that plane with my kids, it wouldn't have went down like it did."
Next one is an absolute staple in my rankings and roasts. Yes, Miss Girl, give us nothing. This one is pretty self-explanatory. The biggest sin that a film and its details can commit, in my opinion, is being forgettable. I'd rather see a truly horrific creation that I think about forever than one that I'll never think about ever again. Which leads me into our next category, Lord Carry Me Home. These examples are a nice reprieve from some of the others just based on how goddamn hard they made me laugh. Our penultimate category is She Thought She Ate. Confidence is key, and these entries are so confidently wrong. And our final category is Smashing a Hole in My Drywall, the true great American tradition, spurned by anything from minor disagreements with a spouse, to a sports team losing, to witnessing heinous wardrobe crimes that test my faith in the art itself, especially against production companies with more money than God, yet couldn't be bothered to hire just one person to be like, hey, this looks kind of really fucking bad. By the way, I'm filming this the day after 4th of July, and people are still screaming and setting off fireworks, because that's what grown adults do here in North Hollywood, apparently. I hate it. I hate fireworks. I hate America. So if you hear like booms in the background and I'm not able to edit them out, I'm very sorry. Okay, so to kick this off, we've got none other than Andy's pink dress in Pretty in Pink. No, she isn't. This is the result of a teenager, and therefore an idiot, no offense, teen viewers, taking two perfectly nice dresses, cutting them up, and just kinda figuring it out from there. All depicted in a classic 80s montage against an admittedly banging soundtrack. Even her dog is like, girl, no. Now, don't get me wrong, I am a big proponent of the DIY or die lifestyle, and this is supposed to be a strong girl comeback scene, and that's all fine and good. We love that for her. But this dress was unironically meant to look cool and unique. When I categorize this as She Thought She Ate, I mean the character Andy thought she ate. Molly Ringwald, on the other hand, had a different story. The dress is so iconic now. I really hated it at the time. It was not really what I had envisioned. I cried. I burst into tears. No one can really look good in this dress. This is not a very flattering dress. Considering that Andy was supposed to be this great fashion designer, I thought maybe she should have pursued something else. I kept everything from this movie with the exception of the dress, and it's too bad. I would love it now. If you can look good in this dress, you can look good in everything. Next up, we've got a lukewarm look from a similarly lukewarm movie, Quicksilver in Age of Ultron. Honestly, a lukewarm bowl of soup is better than Age of Ultron, but that's besides the point. The only interesting part of this costume is that Aaron Taylor Johnson looks really good in it. But I think the wardrobe department heard the word Quicksilver and assumed they should buy a men's thermal from the similarly named sportswear brand. Pair that with some standard black denim from the other side of the mall and congrats, you're an Avenger now. This is especially underwhelming compared to some of Quicksilver's looks in the comics. Disney and Marvel have more money than God and they still gave us nothing. Speaking of Disney having more money than God and still giving us nothing, allow me to get on my little soapbox for a moment. Back in 2016, it was announced that Beauty and the Beast would be getting a live-action adaptation. And this was back when they first started doing that and before everyone and their mom had a live-action adaptation. I cannot begin to tell you how hype I was over this because Beauty and the Beast is my all-time favorite Disney Renaissance movie. Then they announced Emma Watson would be playing Belle. Oh my god, she's gonna make a perfect Belle. Then they announced Josh Gad would be playing LeFou and make him openly gay. Oh my god, this is gonna be so good, you guys. My good bitches. I don't think I've ever been more disappointed by a motion picture in my life. God, this movie was so ass. We've all seen the original Beauty and the Beast, right? We've all seen that iconic scene where Belle makes her grand entrance in that gorgeous glittering gold ball gown. We see her and the guy who admittedly looks way hotter as a beast dance together while Angela Lansbury herself sings a show tune. My God, I was so excited to see this scene come to life. Look at what we were given. Just look at it. Piss yellow color, craft single skirt, dull material, unflattering neckline, some random bullshit necklace, some f***ass hairstyle. Even I bothered to put on gloves for my goddamn video. Not just a failure on the wardrobe end, but on the post-production end as well. The colorist totally could have done the bare minimum and made the dress pop just a bit more, glow just a bit more. Anything besides the slop we were presented with. Oh, and don't even get me started on Emma Watson's feminist statement to not wear a corset. Wow, great job, sis. That really paid off, didn't it? We did it, everyone. Misogyny is officially over now, and it's all thanks to Emma Watson's arbitrary concept of what feminism does or doesn't look like in an inherently not very feminist story in the first place. For reference, just look at some of the incredible pieces that cosplayers have made with a microscopic fraction of Disney's budget. I'm banging my head against and through the wall. Okay, that took up almost an entire page of my script, so let's move on. This would not be a Coke Francis cinema history video without me mentioning Fanforstic, a movie I'm absolutely obsessed with. I have not been able to stop laughing at this picture. Now, obviously, I know this costume looked different under certain lighting and with added VFX, but come on, man. Dr. Doom... Sorry, Victor Domashev, the name they were originally going to call him for some reason, and then I guess they decided later on that that would be stupid, so then they had to ADR people saying Victor Von Doom after the fact. This version of Doom also made an appearance in my worst makeup video, where my partner said he looks like how green runts taste. I think he looks like a crash test dummy who got really into Donnie Darko. My co-producer said he looks like a grassy turd. All accurate statements, and so is Lord Carry Me Home. There are some truly stellar looks in the modern masterpiece that is Legally Blonde. If you haven't seen this movie, get your f***ing life together and watch it. It's probably one of the best references to look to when recreating Y2K or early aughts fashion, and Elle Woods was a big cultural influence on fashion at the time. So, what the f*** are we doing here? What is this? These greens that do not go together at all? A blue tie? The knee-high brown boots with a knee-length pencil skirt? I like all these pieces individually, but together? Rare miss for Miss Woods, but at least she thought she ate. Okay, I know I said I wasn't gonna include too obvious of examples, but we all knew Miss Thing was gonna end up on this list. Come on. It's so bad. The only thing about this that actually works is the fact that Halle Berry is wearing it. Why on God's green battlefield Earth did they change the original outfit she wore to this in the same movie? Listen, I'm gonna be vulnerable with y'all. Halle Berry, in general, but especially in this movie, fundamentally reshaped my hormonal structure when I was in the 5th grade. Okay? Look, as soon as we, as a society, come to an understanding that Catwoman was a movie only for gay people, the sooner we can move on and heal as a nation. Shy Girl getting a baddie makeover, an evil makeup company, a lavender marriage, corny one-liners, gay. This movie is for the gays. Which is especially ironic considering it's clear there were no gay people in that wardrobe department. I can see what they were trying to do, especially with the ripped pattern in the pants to look like cat scratches and the diamond nails. It's very mid-aughts. But let's be real, I'm only giving it credit because I'm a simp for Halle Berry. Had I been on set, maybe, just maybe, it wouldn't have gone down like it did, and I could have volunteered as a stand-in for that motorcycle motorcycle. Continuing our delve into terrible soup costumes, we've got Juggernaut from X-Men The Last Stand, portrayed here by Vinnie Jones. I almost put this in Lord Carry Me Home because I snort every time I see the spray-painted styrofoam helmet. Now, I will never complain about a dude in uniform, especially if it's one from the nearby leather bar. And as you might know about me, I love new and different interpretations of superheroes and villains and their costumes. It's why I actually didn't hate the cringy chaos gangster portrayals of the Joker and Harley. I just hated that Jared Leto was the one doing it. But if you're gonna do something different from such an iconic look in the comics, at least make it sorta interesting. And showing skin doesn't necessarily help achieve that. This whole movie was total ass, and Vinnie Jones was just as disappointed with it. That said, yes, Miss Girl, give us nothing. Okay, I know this is also sort of an obvious one, but I will never pass up an opportunity to dunk on John Travolta. In case the youngins were wondering where I got the phrase, "Why on God's green battlefield Earth?" it's from these goobers right here. Is that an E-meter in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? The puffy North Face material, the platform Ugg boots, the white guy dreads on every Santa Monica cyclist who treats busy streets like his own personal bike lane. Indeed, the lead singer of Counting Crows and his nose cannulas stands by this hit comedy all these years later. He really thought he ate with this, and thought everyone who saw it would go, "Wow, you aren't actually out of your f***ing mind." Here's another X-Men entry that makes me want to put my head in the oven. See, before Deadpool got the big screen Disney princess treatment, the character was not taken seriously by studios, because sometimes he says the word f*** or makes innuendos and is therefore a liability, and the public definitely doesn't want to see or hear those things. The main reason the first Deadpool movie was even able to be released was because of all the hype following that infamous test leak, and thanks to the richest Deadpool cosplayer of all time, it finally burst through the Marvel placenta in 2016, and ended up spawning the highest grossing R-rated series of all time. Also, I met Rob Liefeld like 10 years ago and totally weirded him out. I'm also one of the lucky few who owns a physical copy of the video game, Sony. I'm a big Deadpool fan, okay? He's a big influence on my sense of humor and my love of roasting, and he's someone who taught me to laugh at the horrors of life so that I don't cry, and he partially influenced my drag name. Just look, if you like the queen you see in front of you, you have Deadpool to thank for that, okay? So what if that makes me a shithead millennial? I have nothing to hide from you idiots. Anyway, 7 years before his titular cinematic debut, we saw his cheeky ass in X-Men Origins for a minute, and then we see the Merc with a mouth later in the movie without a mouth, and he was transformed into a mutant killer called Weapon 11, and he can teleport, and he has swords in his arms, and he has eye lasers now too. Okay, character sullying aside, let's see what he's wearing. Big red pants and weird tattoos. Well, it's no wonder Ryan Reynolds was so disappointed in this character assassination that he only stayed for close-up shots. Here's the thing though, if this was a brand new character, this design and concept could actually be pretty cool. Did they just want a way to name drop the character in the movie? Whatever. I'm sending Marvel the bill for all the holes in my drywall. Here's a fun one. Apparently, Sean Connery was so determined to reinvent himself in his post-James Bond era that he decided to don this racy little number. If you love dumb shit from the 70s, you will have a fantastic time with Zardoz. Literally all the costumes in this movie are absolutely ridiculous, but Sean Connery was doing the Borat thing long before it became a meme. Now, for first-time viewers, you might be looking at this set and thinking, Francis, Francis. This is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. Surely this film is a comedy, and you've just violated your criteria. Nope, just gloriously bonkers 70s science fiction. I think we can see where Catwoman got the inspiration for the X straps across the torso, though I think he might have pulled it off a little bit better, I don't know. If you look at this and don't laugh, I can't help you there, buckaroo. Next up, some boring shit from the 2018 Robin Hood. The only thing he steals in this movie is 2 hours of your life you will never get back. Also, the fireworks are like going off right now. Again, it's a full 24 hours after the event is over, and I don't know why they have so many fireworks left over. I don't know why they didn't just set them off yesterday. I don't know why they're doing it right now. I don't know how they afford all of these. Like this many fireworks in this economy? I'm Jesus Christ. Nothing screams medieval like the most forgettable Burberry fall collection. Now, I'm obviously not against the idea of blending old and new aesthetics for stylistic purposes, which is what they were going for here. It's something you see all the time in the Final Fantasy series. For example, 16 did a really good job of blending those aesthetics, but mainly because it still stayed grounded in a medieval atmosphere. Also, you can totally check out my streams of it on my second channel. But more importantly, it's visually interesting. So when futuristic aspects are introduced, it feels ahead of its time. When it's visually drab and dull, like in the Robin Hood movie, it feels anachronistic. And it seems like they were more preoccupied with making it look modern than making it look interesting. You already know where I'm going with this. This thing gave us nothing. I always like to include at least one entry from older films in these videos. Now, I love Ginger Rogers. I think we all do. And I absolutely love her in Shall We Dance. I think we all do. And she has some incredible looks in this film, which is why I, an inquiring mind, would like to know, what the f*** is this? What are these? What's going on over here? Were random cotton balls on a blouse a trend in 1937 that I was not aware of? Am I the only one asking these questions because for some reason there's this weird taboo about talking shit on older movies? In film school, I was genuinely worried that if I said anything like that out loud, that someone was gonna push a button and then people would come into my dorm room and hold me down or something. Anyway, back to this dumb dress. Miss Rogers thought she ate, and I love seeing her happy, but you could never convince me to like this dress. Next up, another look that activated certain neurons in Francis's 10-year-old brain. We've got none other than this silly little number on the incredible Jennifer Garner as Elektra. The biggest difference between this and Catwoman, you see, is that this movie was so goddamn boring, I still turned it off. And even this bodice from Victoria's Secret Pink couldn't convince me to stay. Catwoman is a movie for gay people. Elektra is a movie for absolutely no one. This certainly isn't the worst look on this list, but it's definitely disappointing compared to some of the incredible looks she has in the comics. Maybe they couldn't give her this look to maintain their precious PG-13 rating. I totally get it. I put an outfit like this on Eve in Stellar Blade and I immediately had to change it because it was very distracting. Yes, I played Stellar Blade. Yes, I liked it enough to play it twice. Grow up. Anyway, I can fix her. Maybe. We're pretty far into the video, and I'm sure some of you might be wondering, Francis, you're woke as hell, and your outfit today is simply stupendous. I can't stop talking about it. Where are the problematic entries in this white liberal Hollywood hellscape? Well, don't you worry your precious little heads, my precious good bitches. Of course, we're gonna include an example of shameless Hollywood whitewashing. On today's episode of What in the Caucasity, we've got the absolutely dreadful miscasting of Rooney Mara as Tiger Lily in that live-action Peter Pan thing. Yes, that Tiger Lily, the Native American child, in some absolute Hobby Lobby nonsense. In fairness, I guess this would be a white girl's idea of Native American aesthetics.
What in the shitting hell is going on here?
It was a tricky thing to deal with. There were two different periods, right after I was initially cast, and the reaction to that, and then the reaction again when the film came out. I really hate that I am on that side of the whitewashing conversation. I really do. I don't ever want to be on that side of it again. I can understand why people were upset and frustrated. there was actually a really simple way to avoid all of this, Diva. Do I think all of the 4 main people in the film should have been white with blonde hair and blue eyes? No, I think there should have been some diversity somewhere. There's actually a way to potentially assist with that, Diva. Anyway, we've all seen this bitch at Coachella. She says she's sleeping in her car that smells like perfume and mold, but she's actually at a hotel like 45 minutes away. The worst part is that nobody even went to see this movie, so this was all for nothing. I'm smashing my head through the wall. I'm also doing that because people still won't stop setting off fireworks. If you hear me talking somewhat louder, now you know why. Up next, look at this little silly billy we got here. I'm gonna say something, and it might not be very popular, especially as someone who used to write for a horror website, but Friday the 13th is the worst slasher franchise, okay? It just is. It is not scary. It is the textbook example of puritanical punishment in horror. I know Jason isn't even actually the slasher in the first movie, sorry, spoilers, but Jason isn't even an intimidating name, and that's his revised name. He was originally gonna be called Josh. I wish I was kidding. And like every other slasher series, the movies only get progressively worse. At the end of Jason X, they decide to RoboCop his ass and turn him into a cyborg called Uber Jason. If he knocked on my door, I would immediately grab a bowl of candy and go, "And who are you supposed to be?" A lot of people unironically think Uber Jason looks cool. I do not think Uber Jason is or looks cool. She's giving nothing. This next one might be a bit controversial, and I was actually on the fence about including it, so I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this one. This pink cellophane look that Kathy Earnshaw wears in that new Wuthering Heights movie. Now, before you get on my dick about this, I do understand that this is supposed to be a highly stylized version of the Bronte classic, and it heavily deviated from the original source material. However you might feel about that, there are some pretty amazing looks in this, and some of them really do push the boundaries of what could still be considered appropriate for the time period. But in my opinion, they still work because, and I've brought this up time and time again in my fashion videos, they still maintain a silhouette that's faithful to the time period. Does that make sense? So I think that's why this one bothered me so much. Plus the execution would absolutely send her ass home from Drag Race. This is not historical fantasy. This is a scrapped concept from the Barbie movie. But god damn it, they had already envisioned Margot Robbie in nothing but see-through plastic. God damn it, they're gonna make it happen. And hold on to your bottoms, good bitches, because the designer behind this was also responsible for the piss yellow craft singles dress that I love so much. Next up, oh, Ginny Weasley, you're looking simply dazzling for your Easter communion. I know the running joke in Goblet of Fire was about how bad Ron's dress robes were, and they truly were, especially with that stupid Beatles haircut he had the whole movie. But I haven't seen nearly enough people talk about the absolutely hideous number they put Ginny in. Is there really no spell out there to change the color scheme or get rid of that stupid collar? I do respect the fact that she was probably well aware of how awful it was, but didn't complain and ruin everybody else's nice time like her dickhead brother did. Maybe that's because she has the personality of a gym sock, but nonetheless, she suited up, showed up, and enjoyed the goddamn Yule Ball like a goddamn adult. You gotta love how Emma Watson's entrance in this movie was more stunning and glamorous than in Beauty and the Beast. Don't get me started. Coming up on our last few entries, we've got none other than the tan scrubs from Star Trek The Motion Picture. I think Patton Oswalt described this one the best.
It's oatmeal-colored uniforms on a gunmetal-colored ship, beige people on a gray background in a bad mood for 2.5 hours. That's what they should call Star Trek The Motion Picture.
Can you believe this, you guys? This is the night of July 5th. No, I can wait. I can wait. It's fine. You're only grown adults. You're only men in your 40s. This hurts. Now, I'm not a Trekkie. I don't have particularly strong opinions on this movie or the franchise in general, though Galaxy Quest is one of my favorite movies. And that was a movie by Trekkies for Trekkies. But good lord, these costumes are so goddamn boring. What the hell happened to the amazing colors from the original series? The one explanation I've seen that sorta makes sense is the difference between 60s and 70s aesthetics, where the bold color blocking of the 60s was replaced with more soft and neutral tones in the following decade. The sad beige mom aesthetic is actually nothing new, it's just evolved for TikTok. Either way, it's giving nothing. Here's something that never should have happened. The Rocky Horror remake that came out when I was in college. Doing Rocky Horror, because
How do you do, fellow kids?
there's no way you could possibly handle the original expression of transgressive queer joy in the 1970s. That's far too old for you youngins to comprehend. Here's a safe version that your mom might let you watch. There were plenty of awful looks in this drag racification of the ultimate camp classic, which all scream, this is totally camp, right queers? But nothing is worse than this rare XD MySpace garbage they put Columbia in. Are you fucking kidding me? All that's missing is a Skull Animals hair bow. Columbia's original costume is camp. This is glam rock groupie cosplay. It is not camp. RuPaul once said that women doing drag takes the punk rock out of doing drag. I'd say sanitizing the art of drag to appease the general public and corporate overlords is doing that just fine on its own. And the Rocky Horror remake is a perfect example of how that damage has spread and affected modern queer art. I'm sending him the bill for my ruined walls. And without further ado, here is the final entry in our list of the worst costumes in cinema history. And I could have used any number of looks from this movie, but girl. This is Lucinda the Fairy Godmother in Ella Enchanted, played by Vivica A. Fox. I cannot possibly stress to you enough just how bad the fashion was in the aughts. You could totally find this entire set at Limited 2, back before they renamed it Justice. Sure, okay, diva. There's another scene where she pairs it with those super painful hair baubles that were all the rage back in the day. But Francis, it's supposed to be a modern day adaptation of it. Sure is, and that's why it looks goddamned ridiculous. Look at the fashion inspiration we had to go off of. People actually wore this shit on the red carpet. They put these in People magazine. And you kids want to bring this shit back? Lord, carry me home. I promise I'll go back to my usual shtick eventually, but this was a nice break, and I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did. And if not, well then, I'm glad you enjoy my misery. I hope you're all taking care of yourselves, that you drank some water today, that you did something you enjoy today. I love you all so very much. You're all beautiful, your jawlines are crisp, your butts look fantastic, and I think it's time we check out some winning comments from the last video before these fireworks make me actually put holes in my f***ing drywall. So just so y'all know, one of my favorite types of comments to receive are when you guys just tell me about good news that happened in your life, like if you just went on a good date, or you got accepted into school, or you got hired at a job, or you got into high school band, whatever. I love those. If you have good news and you want to share it in my comments section, please do that, because that's like my favorite kind of comment to receive, honestly. Like, I know the ones that I pick for winning comments usually are like the funny ones, but sometimes I'll see something like, hey, I know you probably won't see this, but this really great thing happened to me. No, I will see it. The YouTube app makes reading every comment easier than ever, am I right, people? But anyway, I always want to hear your good news. Truly. Don't stop doing that. Tartaglia says, the RuPaul impression was so stunning, the entire trains community, we were all in one place, started collectively crying for how seen we felt. Thank you for standing up for trains' rights. I understood that reference. I probably will mispronounce this, so apologies. Manfred Pitta DeSoto 2426 says, the ring girls look like they lost a fight with the fabric store before they even made it to the ring. ring. Allison Purgatory 85 says, God gave me 2 nostrils and they're for Queen Coke Francis and Cokelander. Y'all motherfuckers need Jesus. You too could be featured in the next video. Leave a comment below. I will pick my favorite ones and give you a shout out next time. But if you'd like to guarantee your name be featured at the end of every video, please consider joining my Patreon. If you join any of the membership tiers that are conveniently named after Fallout protagonists, your name will be mentioned at the end of every video. You might also get other cool stuff like access to my Discord, behind the scenes content on how I make my wigs, ad-free and uncensored versions of my videos. So if you love my content and my drag, you can support this channel directly by clicking the link to my Patreon in the description box. And if you would like to give your money to a much more worthy cause, I'm currently helping to sponsor a beautiful family who's surviving the ongoing genocide in Gaza. The link to their Chuffed campaign is in the description, and even just sharing the link is extremely helpful if you are unable to donate. If you would like to see me simp for my favorite game characters and get visibly frustrated in real time, please follow me on Twitch. But if you have better things to do on the weekends, you can catch all of my favorite streams on my brand new gaming channel, Queen Coke Francis Live. I post new streams there weekly, and I will regularly be holding polls on what games you would like to see me play next. And if you'd like to see even more of my clown mug elsewhere, please consider following me on Instagram or Blue Sky. My handle for all of the above is @QueenCokeFrancis. If you enjoyed this video and you haven't done so already, please spend 10 hours of a 12-hour workday in wardrobe and makeup, and when you're finally ready for your big close-up, give them a wardrobe malfunction to remember by going ahead and unzipping your pants and dick slapping those like and subscribe buttons as hard as you can. Thank you again to Helix for sponsoring this video, and thank you to all my patrons and subscribers who keep this channel going. And of course, as always, until next time, no, seriously, this fit goes insanely hard. I hope you all appreciate it.